An example of determination and peace to independence, or a frightening coven of radical Catalans. Yesterday's 1 million strong march left no one indifferent. Hello, and welcome to Catalan News. One million in Catalonia took to the streets demanding independence. For some, this shows people aren't afraid of Spain's efforts to halt independence. For others, it is evidence that direct rule has to be implemented again in Catalonia. On our show today, we'll get you all you need to know about the demonstration's aftermath. Year after year, the independence movement makes a show of force on Catalonia's National Day. And the day after, political parties analyzed the impact of the demonstration in the relationship between Catalonia and Spain, with surprisingly different assessments.
The million-strong pro-independence demonstration yesterday for a 7th National Day in a row gave plenty to talk about today, both in Barcelona and in Madrid, and interpretations were dramatically different in some cases. The Catalan cabinet said that after the rally, the Spanish government needs to engage in dialogue, and also that the demo was an evidence that the supporters of a Catalan republic remain peaceful and unaffected by Spain's efforts to stop them.
Es va veure que la repressió, l'intent de fer por, la violència, no atura la mobilització, no atura la determinació, no atura la persistència del poble català i va ser una manifestació, un èxit espectacular.
Yet 600 kilometers away from Catalonia's government headquarters in the Spanish Congress, the People's Party leader made an antipodal interpretation of the events.
Que deje el apaciguamiento y le he ofrecido la mayoría absoluta del Partido Popular en el Senado para volver a aplicar el artículo 155. ¿Por qué? Porque yo lo que he visto ayer en la diada ya tiene indicios de empeorar. Hemos visto otra vez un aquelarre sectario en Cataluña.
These comments prompted a pro-independence Esquerra MP call him hooligan. Casado also expressed disappointment at the Spanish Foreign Minister, Josep Borrell, for having said that he would have preferred the jail leaders wait for their trial free at home. This criticism was shared by the Unionist Ciutadans party. They both reject dialogue with Torra's cabinet. Meanwhile, Spain's ruling Socialist Party agreed with pro-independence PDeCAT on a parliamentary motion calling both Barcelona and Madrid for dialogue, on two conditions. Talks have to be without impositions and be within the Spanish legal framework. PDeCAT, the base party of the Catalan president's candidacy, claims that a Scottish-like referendum on self-determination is possible within the Spanish constitution, but not everyone agrees in the pro-independence field, and PDeCAT ended up withdrawing the proposal. Esquerra didn't back it on the grounds that legality cannot put a limit to dialogue. The far-left CUP believes this motion severely violated the people's will.
Meanwhile, today was a big day in Strasbourg, and the political conflict in Catalonia was somehow present. The European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker gave his State of the Union speech before the European Parliament. He spoke about EU values, which prompted a pro-independence MEP speaking about jailed Catalan leaders. Juncker also defended decisions made by EU courts, with another reaction by an MEP of the Spanish People's Party.
Mr. Juncker has enlightened us about the need to defend European values against chauvinist nationalism, and I couldn't agree more. But I'd like to make him a suggestion. Please go to Catalonia and visit our 9 political prisoners, amongst them 2 former MEPs.
Mi país, España, ha sufrido un intento de golpe de Estado hace un año, pero el Tribunal Supremo Español no tiene a su disposición a todos los que lo intentaron porque un tribunal regional de otro país le ha negado esa posibilidad. No es España el único caso en el que la euroorden no funciona. ¿Qué mensaje estamos pasando a los españoles?
Moving on, in this digital age, cybersecurity is crucial, and figures from the sector in Catalonia seem to prove just this. 807 million euros was the turnover by firms dedicated to cybersecurity in 2016, according to a report released today. There are 352 cybersecurity companies in Catalonia, employing 6,000 workers. Around 60% of Catalan firms invest in protection from cyber attacks. Only last year, $6 billion were lost because of cybercrime globally. But not all sectors are on the rise in this new era. Some traditional shops, such as newsagents or bakeries, are steadily disappearing. Especially iconic and sad was the last newsagents closing down in a faculty of journalism of Barcelona last year. But this was not the only one.
You might have seen them on La Rambla. They're synonymous with streets throughout Barcelona. The humble newsagent and street kiosk. Purveyors of papers, magazines, sweets and more, they're dying out. Over the last 10 years in the Barcelona metropolitan area alone, around half of them are closed down. A sign of the times and ever-changing consumer habits.
Cada dia venem menys, no veiem una solució per enlloc. Cada vegada ens costa més el poder estar aquí, el poder vendre, cada vegada venem menys.
Over the last few years, this decline of a traditional Catalan institution has been speeding up. The economic crisis played its part, but as more and more people get their news online, newspaper sales have also fallen.
Els últims 3 anys ja ha sigut més forta, coincidint la crisi del paper amb la crisi econòmica.
These are not the only familiar sights disappearing from the Catalan high street. The future is not looking bright for bakeries either. In the northern city of Girona, bakers are not optimistic about the future at all.
En 10 anys vista, jo crec que quedarà un 30 o un 40% menys de les fleques dels que hi ha a la província de Girona en aquests moments.
A baker's life isn't always a piece of cake. Early mornings and 7-day weeks are the norm. This puts off young people from taking up the vocation. Another reason, the fact that the consumption of frozen bread is much higher than fresh, but often people don't even know they're buying it. Bakers call on their colleagues selling frozen bread to make it known, so the clients know what they're eating. For the time being though, as the world keeps on evolving, these dying businesses will have to adapt to the times to survive.
Today was a very special day in Catalonia, especially for children and their parents. Some kids were very happy, while for others it wasn't the best day of the year. Just over 1 million children started school this morning, including preschool, primary, and secondary school pupils. The school year will have 700 more teachers, but trade unions urge the government to hire 5,000 more next year. Some 20 centers started lessons with works underway, according to the executive, because of the delays caused by direct rule. Moving on to culture now. Art isn't conceived in a museum. It's often a product of an artist's environment, usually their home, surrounded by what they love. This is the case for renowned Catalan artist Joan Miró and his family farmhouse, a place that almost 5,000 have already gone to visit.
Since May, it's been possible to visit the very home where much of Joan Miró's art was created, and so far, almost 5,000 people have taken advantage of this opportunity. This is a chance to see the creative process in its authentic environment, the iconic Catalan artist's family farmhouse found in Mont-roig del Camp, near the southern beachside town of Tarragona. Called Mas Miró with renovations, the space has struck a balance between remaining as it was and becoming more welcoming to visitors in the past 4 months. And the amount of people matches the expectations of the Mas Miró Foundation, which foresaw around 20,000 per year. They came from all over Catalonia and abroad. This last round of renovations opened spaces for viewing like ecological crops, various bedrooms, and perhaps most impressive of all, Miró's workshop, with the artist's tools, sketches, paint. There's even still a calendar on the wall from the last time he visited, just 3 years before his death. This is where the artist developed his style of surrealism, to which his work primarily belongs. Miró's art also explores the subconscious mind, the childlike Catalan pride, and a rejection of the conventional. And there's more to look forward to. Upcoming renovations include the kitchen and an elevator for those with reduced mobility. Tickets are set at under €10.
More on art, but now street art. Artists from around the world have recently started painting a 1,200 square meter wall in Torrefarrera, western Catalonia. The aim? To improve the urban environment and foster culture. So if you want to see what it looks like, this is your next stop. Bye for now, and see you tomorrow.
place orders and drop dollars. Rottweilers roam the grounds.